guest in the studio. Different face, new face, and I'm really happy that you're here today. We have Pastor Atinuke Adeleye. She's a co-senior pastor, Wordwaves Christian Center, and the MD CEO of Exodus Cleaners Limited in the studio. Mrs. Atinuke, who lives with Sickle Cell, is also the founder and convener of the Sickle Cell Champions Club, and she's a mother of 3. Today we're going to be talking about my journey with sickle cell disorder, the challenges and the triumphs, and I have to say it's a pleasure having you in the studio. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning. This is Pastor Atinuke Adeleye in the studio.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
All right. So we're talking about your journey and how it has been living with the sickle cell disorder, the challenges, your triumphs, and you're a mother of 3. That's absolutely amazing.
That's amazing.
So tell us.
It's always amazing. Actually, mother of 3 alive, but I've actually had 4 children.
Wow.
Yes, my first son died at 4 months. Not for sickle cell anyway, because my husband, Apostle Adeleye, is AA.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So no, I had that at the back of my mind and the front of my mind. Not to try to go and marry anybody with S.
At
No,
all.
not at all. Not at all. So when that one died, my first son, then I had another one almost immediately. In fact, I can say I got pregnant that same night.
Wow.
That's another story for another day.
Okay.
So, and I have a first daughter, Happiness. Then another one, 4.5 years later.
Okay.
I had Tobiloba, a boy. Then lastly, another 4.5 years later.
Wow,
and I have Emmanuel.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely amazing. So your journey so far, before you got married, was there an issue? Because a lot of people call on the show and they're scared that, people always run away when they say their SS or something. How were you able to cope and meeting your now husband?
Yes, actually, the main trigger of this happiness is my husband and God Almighty. Before I met him at all, I went through the same stigmatization everybody is going through.
Yes.
When you get to some places and they ask you what's your genotype, you are a bit shy.
Yes, and
to say it.
Yes.
But there are people that you can't lie to in this world. Where you can't lie to your doctor, you can't lie to your lawyer and your pastor.
Oh yes.
So when I get to such places, I just tell them the truth. If I run into crisis at any point in time and I'm in an unfamiliar environment, so I just say it straight away. I don't even try to hide anything because that can lead to death.
Yes.
So I went through some stigmatization in secondary school and primary school. Primary school wasn't so serious like the secondary school. Stuff like everybody has offended on the assembly ground, and then they are beating everybody. Then it gets to your turn and they are like, don't beat this one, no makuni. That kind of thing.
Wow, yes.
So I'm always like, beat me like you're beating everybody. So they treat me differently, and that gets me really mad. Like, why? Everyone that has sickle cell anemia wants to live a normal life. Want to do everything normal people
like every
because
other person.
we believe that we're normal.
Yes.
So, but the society doesn't accept it that way. The society sees us as abnormal, and we really need to make awareness to the whole world to make them know we are normal. It's just a disorder in the blood. It's not a death sentence, and I'm using this medium to encourage everyone that has sickle cell anemia that it's not a death sentence. It's just a disorder that can be managed. And as a pastor, I believe so much in God. Prior to the time I met my husband, I'd always believed that I'm supposed to be sick. I've always believed that everywhere I go, I'll be stigmatized and all of that. But when I met Apostle Adeleye, who happens to be my husband, he told me sickness is not in the Bible. He told me Isaiah 53:5 says, by his stripes we were healed. So, and that got to me really bad. It was like a revelation. And since then, I had a new mentality about what this disease actually is about. I had a new dispensation to life. I had a new orientation, courtesy my husband, So, the stigmatization is still there till now. In fact, there are some parastatals where they will not employ you because you are SS, and that's really bad. I noticed that out of the four of us, because my family, we are 4 girls.
Okay.
I'm the first of 4.
Okay.
And I'm the only one that is SS. The rest are AS.
Okay.
So I noticed that because 3 of us are married now, and the last one is yet to. So in our period of pregnancy and all of that, I noticed I was even stronger than.
So you
the
didn't
other.
have any challenges during your pregnancy?
Oh, that's a long story. I had challenges. Actually, for sickle cell anemia, the crisis increases in pregnancy. Yes, as soon as I remember my first pregnancy, my husband really didn't understand sickle cell anemia. He was just a faith man that understood faith, and we just went into the marriage with him not knowing so much about it. So 2 weeks into the wedding, I was already pregnant, and the crisis started terribly. And meanwhile, he didn't tell his family about my status. Wow. It was just a secret between us. So it was tough. So he became afraid I would die. So he had to go and make a confession to the family. So when the family heard about it, the mother was like, Jide Tikpami, all those kind of things, and all of that. Yeah. So I started moving on like that. It was, like other people can go to hospitals and have children. They will say the medical bill was 15,000, 20,000. Yes. Oh, for our own case, it's not like that. The hospital will bill you real good. So I was going to the best of hospitals so that I can keep alive, because for sickle cell we hear that we can't have more than one child or,
so
or
many
2.
stories
So
that one has heard.
All those indices were there. I went through those challenges. It was crisis all through the 9 months.
Wow.
Yes, it was crisis all through 9 months. So I was, but because for anyone with sickle cell, we are used to pains. So even if I'm in some crisis, you might not know, except it becomes an emergency. So I will just be managing there, and you just see that maybe I might not be my best, laughing or smiling, I'll be reserved and withdrawn to myself because of the pain. So most of the time I was withdrawn to myself during pregnancy because of pains. I can be in the bus and the crisis will start. I can be at work and the crisis will start. So I'll just manage it, take my medications, and then move on. So it's really challenging, mostly during pregnancy. And that is why it's not advisable that we have many children, because every time we go in there for delivery, it's like a life and death kind of situation. Wow. And to God be the glory. Well, I want to thank God for my life,
you did it
because
3 times.
I did it 4 times, and I had all normal delivery.
Wow.
No CS, all normal delivery, all through the 4 children I've had. 3 are alive, to the glory of God. So I think it was just God, because the second son I had, Toby Loba, gave me some stress. I had inflammation of kidney and spleen. I was in the hospital for over a month.
Yeah.
My pregnancy at that time, for 4 months pregnancy, it's supposed to be a sizable thing. It was already bloated up as if I would deliver the next day.
Yeah.
So it was because of the inflammation of the kidney and the spleen. So there was so much prayers. My husband was optimistic I won't die. Thank God for that man, So, but those were the challenges that I faced in those times. It was injection. For sickle cell patients, we are used to injection, we are used to all those things. But what I can say is it's manageable, but it's very, very challenging.
So how do you manage it? Because there are some external factors that actually trigger crisis. And how do you cope with that?
Well, external factors vary from...
Because the doctor has shared it could be weather, because the Harmattan period right now
yes.
is a bit harsh outside.
Yes.
How do you cope with all the external triggers?
Necessity is the mother of invention. When you know who you are and you have accepted your status, your situation, you are no longer a baby, and then you do the needful at every point in time. Now, when the weather changes, the thing about sickle cell is when we don't have oxygenated blood flowing in the body. Yeah. So it's not even about when it is very cold. It's also about when it's very hot and there's no oxygen. So when it is very hot also, you can go into crisis because the oxygen is not moving around the body. So it will go sickle somewhere and everywhere will block and there will be crisis.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm not a doctor, but I know a little bit about that. So it's extreme coldness, extreme heat also can cause crisis. So when it is extremely hot, we try to wear something lighter, and be in a hairy environment so that we can have some oxygen. Oxygen is very important to us. Then when it's extremely cold, we cover up. And at that time, sometimes the doctor increases our medications, the folic acid, the B complex, the pyrethrin, to help prevent any crisis at that time. So we try to increase our fluid intake, water intake, and all of that, fruits and all of that, vegetables at cold times, because the heat time might not be so difficult like the cold times. I remember when I went to Nairobi, and the temperature in Kenya is very high. At arrival, I think the temperature.
That's why they're very good with marathons.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Because of the weather. They always come to Nigeria and win everything.
Because we are used to heat here, and that place is cold.
Wow.
I landed at Jomo Kenyatta about 5:30 a.m. and it was cold.
Wow.
It was extremely cold. It was about 16 degrees. In fact, I was afraid, but I'd already heated up anyway all through the journey. But unfortunately, my host didn't recognize me because I was with glasses, and the picture she had, there was no glasses.
Without glasses.
So I was in the cold for 30 minutes, close to an hour, and we were looking at ourselves and she didn't know it was me. So at that point in time, the cold entered into my wrist and crisis started. But nobody would know because we are used to pains. So I was in pain with my luggage at Jomo Kenyatta, and my host didn't recognize me.
While you were standing there?
While I was standing there. It was after about an hour, then somebody came and said, "Are you Pastor Atinuke Adeleye?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, we are really sorry." I said, "Oh, you people have really, you have ruined my day." You have ruined my day. Oh, wow. So they were apologizing, and all medications didn't work because I was in that cold for an hour. So I had to go for injection before the crisis.
Okay, so there some people talk around that there are certain things that those living with sickle cell disorder can't do in line of career, and probably trying to do something maybe because it's too strenuous. Is it possible? Can you do anything but know how to manage your disorder? There are some restrictions to certain things that you want to do with your life.
I can't say we can do everything. We can't do everything. We can. There are some rigorous jobs or exercises that we cannot do. But all in all, I have seen there's a
because I think there was a time that I can't remember, the doctor shared that a bodybuilder that was sickle cell.
In fact, there's a man, Mr. DBC, that's into rugby game, and his SS. You see, everything is about psychology and the way our body can adapt to situations. When I was still working, I was a marketer, and I was everywhere in VI Lekki, going up and down looking for a job that is not lost. And
oh my goodness!
So I was going everywhere, and my MD wasn't even looking at my status. Even in pregnancy, we said, "Go out and look for a job for me," and I liked it that way. And my husband also was like that. He was empathetic, not sympathetic. He would tell me, do that. Now you have to minister. Now you have to. And when I'm ministering, sometimes I'll have chest pain and all. And when you're ministering, you can't stop with the chest pain. So I'll bear the pain and continue ministering. So my congregation doesn't know that I'm in pain and I'm still ministering to them. So my husband will not look at that. He usually notice when I feel that pain and I'm like, the pain, he will just take his face off, like do what you have to do. I think that built me up. Those were part of the things. It toughened me up to rise up and do something for myself, because my parents, my late parents, Mr. and Mrs. Shitu, they were pampering me. I was a spoiled child, and you couldn't have blamed them because we were in and out of hospitals almost all the time.
So they did everything to.
So they did everything to protect me. Yeah. When it's raining, Atinuke come inside. When it's cold, cover up. Even in fact, it's really challenging, and the stigmatization is really bad. It's making a lot of us go into depression, and that is why we actually started this Sickle Cell Champions Club, to bring people out of their depression, because the society frowns at us. Some of them look at us and they're like, this one is sickler. This one looks.
They always look like you're so frail.
We're frail. So
you're
very.
You're delicate. You need to handle them with care.
Exactly. The majority of us look very frail. Majority of us look very frail. Some don't. In fact, some of us are fat, and you'll be wondering, and they are SS, and they are on the fat side. So it just depends from person to person. This
emotionally now, how did you deal with the stigmatization and being always discriminated against at the workplace, in school? How were you able to cope? Because a lot of people are dealing with depression and not being able to mix freely with their peers because of the way people look at them. Dealing with that emotionally, because that's a different battle on its own that
Exactly.
can actually trigger a crisis.
Yes, it can trigger crisis. Emotionally, one thing I have had when I was young was that I don't want to die young, and I'm not going to die young. So I had that at the back of. So each crisis episode, I'll always tell my mom and everybody around me that I'm not going to die. I'm going to come out of it. So emotionally, I wasn't balanced, but I was managing it. Take for instance, when I was, because my secondary school is Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School, Jebode.
Okay.
So when I was in Olas, my mom comes for visitation. She will be telling my friends, take care of Tinu. She's your daughter. I was like, how can you be telling my friends that I'm their daughter? What do you mean by that? We are age mates, for Christ's sake, and so that they can take care of her. No, you don't have to say
take care of yourself.
I can take care of myself, and if they have to take care of me, doesn't mean that you should not turn me to their daughter. We are age mates, for crying out loud. So I didn't like that, and it can make me cry sometimes.
Yes.
Why is my mom always telling everybody, this is your daughter, this is your daughter, take care of her? Everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry should take care of me, and that emotionally got me really crazy, you know. So that's what I was managing. And I would tell them when my friends were always behaving as mommies also, I would tell them, please get out of
Leave me alone.
Just leave me alone. And I wanted to do everything. When I left secondary school, my father said, go to Babcock University. I said, no, that's a Christian school. Rules and regulations, I don't want.
I want to be free.
I want to be free. So I went to Ogun State University, studied computer science. I was frustrated. I couldn't cope with the stress of moving from one department to another. The stress of walking up and down. I was breaking down every time. And my father said, you better be obedient and go to a school where everything is at your reach. There's standby generator, there's standby healthcare. So everything is just there. So I had to find myself in Babcock. So in Babcock, I still wanted to live a normal life. I joined the Egbe Omo Odua. We started dancing, and after each cultural dance, that night, my friend Marcella will have to take me to the hospital. She will be telling me, Atinuke, don't dance. I said, I'm going to dance.
But you didn't let it deter you.
I didn't let it stop me. It was, when people talk about it, it gets me mad, it gets me angry.
And you can't do this.
I can't do anything about it. I just ignore them and do what I want to do.
All right, so because we're almost out of time, I want
Okay.
you to word of advice,
Alright.
especially to people who are about to, because not a lot of people know how to be with or care for those living with sickle cell disorder. Someone who's about to marry a woman that doesn't know a lot about it. Someone who, what's the word of advice just to end the show to them?
Okay.
Not to make them feel like you need to carry them every time, and how that can affect them.
Okay. Well, I've always waited for this opportunity to talk to the world about how to manage persons with sickle cell.
Yes.
Like what my husband did. Be empathetic, don't be sympathetic.
Okay.
That sympathy that we give to us makes us go into depression. Now, if someone with sickle cell anemia tells you, I can do this, allow her to try it. Now, if she tries it once and breaks down, she won't try it again.
Okay.
But not allowing her to try it, she feels something is wrong somewhere, and she will be mad. And gradually, she'll be losing confidence in herself. So let parents, friends, spouses be empathetic, not sympathetic. That's firstly. Secondly is, please, I've been shouting it on the rooftop. That's what we do in Sickle Cell Champions Club. That please, if possible, let carriers not marry themselves. Take for instance, AS marrying AS, SS marrying SS. That's suicidal. SS marrying AS in the name of love. I don't understand that kind of love. I'm a pastor, but that kind of love, I still don't understand it.
You need to enter into that union with
Because
your eyes
you bring
open.
up children into pain and all of that,
yes.
and they don't survive. Some of them, we are only surviving by the grace of God. It was just God. And I tell people, it's not only sickle cell anemia that kills people. Anything can kill anybody.
Oh yes.
And God is the one that determines who lives and who dies.
Oh yes.
But they should just avoid it. I encourage churches to please do blood test before people are joined in marriage. Genotype test. Many people don't know their genotype. They just assume they are AA and they are not.
Because they don't fall sick.
Because they don't fall sick.
Yes.
They just assume that they are AA. And that is wrong. We must check ourselves and know. So there's nothing like love in bringing up. My parents, let me tell you, my parents spent all their hand-earned money in the hospital. Thank God my father worked in West African Portland Cement, where they were paying for all my medicals.
Yeah.
But any other person couldn't have been sick, because what I was consuming was already far above what was allotted to my father. So you don't want to build a family like that in this type of economy. It's better to be avoided. So I was always in the hospital. When you say you love yourselves and you are carriers and you marry, you will not enjoy that marriage to the fullest, because you always be in and out of hospital.
The hospital. You
will be friends to every doctor. So, and that will really shipwreck the marriage. So it's better not to even try it at all. And for those of us that are in it, please, let's encourage. When you see somebody that looks it, you don't have to now start looking, make it look obvious and rub it in and make that, because many of them are depressed. Many of them want to commit suicide. So one committed suicide about 2 years ago on 3rd Milan Bridge. Those things are not good. Just allow them to live their life. When their fingers get burned, they won't do it again. But not allowing them at all to express themselves, it takes a toll on them. And they don't like it. We all want to be normal. There are other diseases, not only sickle cell. So I don't like the way the society looks at us, and some companies and organizations don't take us as employees, because they feel we will die or something.
Burden,
No, that's not good enough. I had to stop work on my own and start my own company, Exodus Cleaners Limited. I have a cleaning outfit. We go and clean. When you see me cleaning, you won't believe that I have sickle cell and I'm the one, because that's my passion. So everything is not about what the blood is saying. It's also about psychological orientation, emotional, and also spiritual, what the person believes. So that's what I want to say to the world, that please be empathetic towards them. Let carriers not marry themselves. Take your medications, carry them around in your handbags, carry them around in your pockets, so that in case you feel any pain anywhere, just slot it into your mouth. We see asthma people too using their inhalers everywhere.
Yeah.
So you take your medications around. Then be careful at the cold seasons. Cover up, and then be careful. Prepare yourself when you're about to fly to take a flight of more than 5 hours. It affects us. Altitude also affects us because of the oxygen level. And so you prepare yourself how you're going to cope in a 10 hours flight, 5 hours flight, 6 hours flight. And so we just have to prepare ourselves.
Always be
and
ready.
Go for medication. But there are other researches that are out. I learned they can change the blood and put AA, and then maybe the person will turn out to be AS or A. And I think they are doing that also. And so we can also go for that. But the advice is, please let the world accept us. Let them not look at sickle cell patients like they are going to die tomorrow. I'm 43 years old. Wow. Mother of 3. My first daughter is 16.
Wow.
So we are not dying. God is the one that determines who dies and lives.
Thank you so much. I wish we could go on.
Yes.
But if we can do this in 30 seconds, how can people join your club? Is it open to
yes,
everyone?
people, thank you so much for this opportunity. Sickle Cell Champions Club is for actually people that are from 30 years and above. We call them voting members. We have non-voting members, that is from 19 to 29 years. They are non-voting members. Now, voting members will register with 10,000 naira and a 5,000 quarterly fee. And then non-voting members will register with 5,000 naira and a 2,000 quarterly fee. We go for trips, we go for picnics, we go for,
because outings. We're out of time, number that they can reach you on
080-371-46678.
Let's call it again slowly.
080
yes
371
yes
46678.
All right, so if you need to ask more questions about how to join the club, reach her on that number. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
All right, coming up next at 12